again, everybody. How's it going? Today I'm gonna make another video in a similar vein to the previous video. It's gonna be about tarot again. This time I'm gonna be doing that kind of, I guess, old tarot tag now, where you kind of answer questions. It was like 10 questions every tarot reader must answer, or something along those lines. I don't have answers written out, so I might get a little rambly. But the intention of the questions is kind of to either like check yourself or to check somebody that you might want to get a reading from. So I think a like honest answer off the top of your head kind of thing would be best, right? Because if someone's got planned out answers, then they could say anything to make you feel better, right? So let's get started. Okay, so question number 1 is, were you mentored or were you self-taught? So I'm definitely self-taught. I don't know a lot of tarot readers personally, and the ones that I do know either started learning about the same time as me or some even after, so I just didn't have the opportunity to be mentored. I didn't really go out seeking either, so that's kind of my fault. Definitely wouldn't have been opposed to being mentored and things like that, but instead I think the closest thing I have to a mentor is just all the really great people on YouTube who make videos about tarot. So question number 2 is, are you a psychic or a tarot reader? I've never and probably will never claim to be a psychic. That being said, I do think that everybody has a certain psychic ability, in the sense that like we're all connected to the same, universal knowledge, same like great library. So I just think that some people are better at connecting to that than others. So while I would never say that I'm really good at it, and I would never call myself a psychic, I definitely think we all carry a little bit of that in us, and especially like if you're reading tarot or doing other divination work, you are still connecting to that same thing. There's just maybe a spectrum, which I don't follow, or I don't fall anywhere near the psychic level on that spectrum. Alright, so question number 3, are your predictions accurate, and is accuracy important to you? I mean, I don't read in a way that I'm not trying to predict big things that would be able to be judged as accurate or not. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not trying to predict like your future mate's name or birthday and things like that. Like, that's not how I read. So yeah, it's gonna be accurate, but not in a big picture sense, not in a very defined facts that I can somehow grab out of these cards. I don't read like that, so it seems like weird to me. I would think that someone who does do that, it's coming from a psychic ability and not the cards themselves, at least in the way I view it, right? So yes, but I'm not trying to predict really specific things. So, if a non-believer could see it as, I'm so broad, so of course I'm accurate, right? I mean, I don't see it that way, obviously, but that's definitely one way that someone could look at it. And question number 4, is there anything you can't predict in a reading? Well, I kind of pretty much touched on that in the previous question. So I don't attempt to predict any kind of specific dates or names or locations. That's just not how I read. I'm definitely more of a situational advice giving kind of reader, like an emotional state kind of reader, a big picture reader. So I'm not trying to, I can't predict things like that. I can't do anything that you might associate with like a psychic ability. I can't, well, I say I can't, but I never tried and have no need or want to try. to, you know, find people or predict natural disasters like it says in the description. I can't do that. Question number 5. Do you use only tarot or are you multidisciplinary? So definitely, as far as other divination things, I love studying divination. I think it's such an interesting topic to look at, how other cultures, what other cultures use to divine things. I love it, but I definitely don't feel confident enough in any other like type of divination to use it along with tarot, except for maybe I would use some astrology stuff, but that's about as far as I go. I love numerology and things like that, but I love runes. I think they're cool, so cool, and there's so many different types of divination out there. It's fascinating, really fascinating, but I just don't feel confident in pretty much anything except for maybe astrology. Even then, my knowledge of it is, I would say, beginner level, so I would never outright try to give an astrological reading, but if I have some prior knowledge about people involved or the time of, you know, what the planets are doing right now, I would include that in a tarot reading. But again, still beginner level, still wouldn't be advertising that I'm like some super knowledgeable person about that, but yeah. Oops. I'm sorry that I'm such an awkward human being, but today I'm trying to maybe not ramble as much, so I have cuts in my videos, but I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't have a lot of equipment, so you get to still deal with all of my weirdness. You're welcome. Alright, question number 6 is one that I think is really important, is the message in the cards or in your head. That is a super important question. So how I view, let's take it back to how Angela thinks in life. I am definitely the kind of person that can hold two opposing views in my head at the same time and somehow be able to deal with both at the same time. I'm crazy like that. So when I think of tarot, what I think of is that, so the cards themselves do directly relate to how your physical self, which relates to your spiritual self. So the reader is channeling, you know, the greater knowledge of the universe, right? Is channeling the interconnected energy that we are all part of, right? And through that channeling, you are picking what cards you need to pick, right? I do think that, but at the same time, a lot of tarot, in my opinion, has to do with psychology and has to do with the person. It's just the psychological state of the person reading and the person hearing what the reader has to say. So I may look at the cards. I feel like, okay, my point is that one reader, me, I can look at a layout of cards and get some reading out of it, but another person who is separate from me, doesn't know me, whatever, everything, can sit down and get something completely different from it. It is not just the cards. It is definitely like a combination of both. And that combination is really important. So, yeah, especially when, you know, in that scenario, the person who laid the cards out has, you know, picked those cards with the connection, you know, and the person coming down to sit and read them, they didn't pick those cards. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Like, there's basically what I'm trying to say is there's a combination of both. It's definitely partially the cards, because I do feel like you are meant to pick those cards, but at the same time it also has a lot to do with the person reading it. So what's in that reader's head. Alright, so question number 7. Are you a priest or a fortune teller? I feel like reading the description of what this person's trying to say, it's not, this question is meant to be kind of a call out, I think. Like, a fortune teller has this image of someone who's an entertainer. They're not trying to claim to really know, you know what I'm saying? They're not trying to claim to be like giving you some kind of real reading, right? But then a priest at the same time, I mean, that holds a lot of connotations too. Words are heavy with meaning, especially these. So in that sense, I guess I'm closer to what you would call a priest. Sorry that the lighting is totally different now. I had a big interruption in making this video, so it's like hours later. Okay, anyway, so fortune teller priest. Yeah, so I guess I'm closer to being what you could call a priest in the sense that I wouldn't say that it relates to my spiritual practice. So I'm closer to priest than fortune teller, but I would not call myself either. I mean, yeah, I don't like giving myself titles that I can't, like, definitely back myself on, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so number 8, are you a fixer or a looker? That's a really good question. I would definitely say that I'm more of a looker, as in I will, more often than not, I'm just looking either at a situation or at a person. Like, I'm not trying to use the cards to give you exact things to do, and I'm not trying to, to give you advice. Like, I'm not a professional as far as, like, a therapist or anything, so I don't think I have necessarily the credentials to give someone really good advice. I mean, I think I do give really good advice, to be honest, but I'm not gonna just offer it, like, just as part of something as part of a reading. It'd be more like, I would give you the reading, tell you the situation according to the cards, tell you, you know, what they tell me, and then I'd say, like, you want my opinion? Because I'll give you an opinion. Oh yeah, like, I'll give you advice if you want it. I just would never claim to try and be, I would say to someone asking a reading from me, that I look at the situation, but I love giving advice. So if you want it, that's a little free tidbit. Speaking of free tidbits, kind of relates to the next question. Do you read for free or for fee? The F's. Anyway, so I don't really, I mean, I've read for a very few amount of people. I usually read for myself, predominantly. And the few amount of people I've read for, it was free. I think that charging for this skill is totally reasonable. I just don't think that I'm experienced enough with reading for other people to charge someone at this point in my life. Maybe someday when I feel that confidence, I'd be willing to charge for it. I'd be willing to pay for it, so I'd charge for it. Does that make... I think that's a really good rule. Like, if I'd be willing to pay someone who I think I can trust, I would pay them, so I don't see why other people wouldn't pay me to do it. Like, alright, and then the last question, is there anything you won't predict in a reading? Well, I think that there's definitely, because I love to give advice, if someone sat down with me and had, like, a question or like a concern that I didn't think needed a reading, I would tell them. I'd be like, look, like, you told me all this stuff about your situation, like, here's what you should do. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes it just takes a person outside of a scenario to tell you what to do. Like, it's you know subconsciously what you should do, but it takes that person outside of your situation completely to be like, it's so clear. You know, everybody, I feel like, has been in a situation like that. I know I have. And so in that sense, I guess I don't know. Again, like, the word predict, I give you one road that it could go down, or a road most likely for it to go down, but I don't think everything in our lives are so predestined, or and like, even if it is the reading you're getting and the advice and the changes you make, then wouldn't that have to be meant to be as well? Like, if that were the case, if things are predestined, which, I mean, again, I don't think they are. But I would never say that I'm going to predict something really big. Like, I'm not ever gonna put, like, I can't predict your death. I can't predict your family member's death. I'm not, even if I could, I guess I wouldn't. And I wouldn't put that pressure on myself to predict something like a natural disaster or like some kind of horrible thing happening. I just wouldn't put that on myself, because that's crazy pressure, first of all. It's a lot of crazy stress to put on someone, and then I don't necessarily think I even could. So if I'm gonna try and make myself do it, like, that'd be horrible. I guess I wouldn't do that. But yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all the questions too. So, if you have any other questions you'd like me to answer, go ahead and ask away, I guess. I don't have anything better to do but to answer your questions, so go ahead and ask. I know it's an old tag, so maybe I'll see if I can find some other newer tags having to do with tarot, and we'll do those too. I love when people make ideas and they just hand it to you, and you can make a video out of it, and you don't have to try it all, right? No, but for real. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.